Julie Bindel, who's a writer, was also writing over the weekend about how she's been visited by the police over a tweet that she posted because somebody in the Netherlands apparently complained about it. This is obviously off the back of Alison Pearson's treatment by the police in Essex. Let's talk to Stephen O'Grady, who's legal officer with the Free Speech Union. Stephen, a very good morning to you. My sense is that we might find out there's a lot more of this going on than we knew.
There is indeed. I think, you know, these journalists, what's been happening with them is absolutely appalling, but they're the very prominent and very public tip of the iceberg here. Over the last 10 years, there have been about 250,000 reports of these NCHIs recorded by the police. Right. So it happens to people with a bit of a public profile, and it happens to the ordinary man in the street as well. It's very widespread.
It is indeed. And, I mean, I was under the impression, obviously wrongly, that the Tory government, before they left office, had ordered the police to stop doing this stuff and said, you know, we don't need... They'd gone to the police college and everything else and said, you know, non-crime hate incidents should not be being recorded because nobody really knows where that information ends up, and it can affect all manner of things, can't it?
Absolutely, and sadly, no, the Conservatives did attempt to put the brakes on it a little. They issued statutory guidance. Suella Braverman, when she was Home Secretary, issued statutory guidance which said to the police that they should only record these incidents in cases where there was clear intentional hostility or a serious risk of significant harm. And this was promulgated out by the College of Policing, but it seems that it simply didn't really work, or local constabularies are just not listening to it because it's still going on. And I think the Conservatives missed a trick in just putting the kibosh on it altogether while they had the opportunity.
And just in case it is happening to people even as we speak, I mean, I don't give it advice if you don't feel confident doing so, but I mean, if the police turn up on your door and do this kind of thing, I mean, what rights do we have, as it were?
Well, it's important to first of all find out exactly what the police are doing, why they're visiting you, and what the purpose of that is. But I would say that if anybody gets contacted by the police and told that they're being investigated for one of these non-crime hate incidents, contact us at the Free Speech Union, and we will be able to help either yourself or if it's your child, because they're targeting primary school children with this these days as well.
Yeah, and I mean, are you required to let them into your home if they turn up on your doorstep?
Well, certainly not, unless they come with a warrant, but they wouldn't get a warrant simply if they're investigating a non-crime hate incident. They would need reasonable suspicion of an actual offence being committed in order to satisfy a magistrate for that.
So could you say, for example, to them, I'm trying to be a bit specific here, could you say to them, for example, I'm sorry, I'm not prepared to talk to you until I've spoken to my counsel at the Free Speech Union, and after that I'll be more than happy to talk to you, I'll let you know?
Generally speaking, yes, you would be able to say to them that until you've taken legal advice, you would not be willing to speak to them. Certainly don't have to let them into your house. At worst, they could invite you down to the station for an interview under caution, but in those circumstances, you would again be entitled to take legal advice, yes.
Indeed. I mean, bizarrely this morning on the front page of the Telegraph, they're quoting Keir Starmer saying basically that police should concentrate on what matters most to their community, suggesting that they should be policing proper violent crime and not tweets, which is rather odd considering much of this seems to be being done at his behest.
Well, exactly. It's entirely within his gift and the gift of the Home Secretary to be able to stop this if they wanted. They could issue new statutory guidance, but it seems that there's a lack of will and simply a lot of rhetoric from on high.
Yeah, it really does seem ridiculous, doesn't it? Stephen, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Stephen O'Grady, legal officer at the Free Speech Union there. A disturbing number of these non-crime hate incidents are taking place, and they can be reported by just one person. I mean, in the case of Julie Bindel, I think it was a transgender man in Holland had reported her for stating what she says were biological facts. This was a few years ago when the police suddenly turned up at her door one Sunday lunchtime while she was preparing the roast chicken and having a glass of wine. Absolutely extraordinary stuff.